Join me on a fascinating journey through Arlington National Cemetery, one of the most historic and iconic landmarks in Washington, D.C. In this comprehensive tour, we'll explore the cemetery's rich history, pays respects to America's fallen heroes, and uncover the stories behind the graves of famous Americans, including President John F. Kennedy and the unknown soldier. From the changing of the guard ceremony to the tomb of the unknown soldier, we'll delve into the significance of each monument and memorial. Whether you're a history buff, a patriot, or simply curious about the nation's capital, this video tour is the perfect way to experience Arlington National Cemetery from the comfort of your own home. So sit back, relax, and let's embark on this unforgettable journey through Washington, D.C.'s most historic cemetery. The Arlington National Cemetery is the country's largest military cemetery and serves as the final resting place for more than 400,000 military veterans and their immediate family from the fronts of Iraq and Afghanistan, as well as World Wars I and II, the Korean conflict, Vietnam, the Cold War, and America's Civil War. The cemetery conducts between 27 and 30 funerals every weekday. The site is open to the public 365 days a year with free admission for those who wish to tour the site and pay their respects.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Arlington National Cemetery. I'm your narrator, Fitz. This is our great tribe of opportunity, as well our active duty service members, veterans of Gold Star families. Thank you so much for your service. He was actually buried a few feet down that slope of Arlington House. That beautiful view that he loved so much. Now, actually, on the right on the hill there, you see Arlington House, the Robert E. Lee Memorial. Notice that the flag is at full staff. Now, that means all the funerals are done for today. If the funeral is still going on, it would have been at half staff. On the left over here, you follow this walkway on the left, you see a group of trees on the right. Within those trees is the final resting place for Captain Robert Todd Lincoln, eldest son of Abraham Lincoln, only one of his sons to reach adulthood. He was by his father's side when he passed away. I was there at the dedication of the Lincoln Memorial, and you can see the Lincoln Cemetery. Oliver Wendell Holmes, William Rehnquist, and past the street on the right, you see a semicircular memorial for Secretary of War Weeks. 2 stones behind that is the final resting place for Thurgood Marshall, first African American Supreme Court Justice.
Ist gedrückt.
Now we're coming to our stop at the John F. Kennedy graveside with the eternal flame. You follow this walkway on the right. Now we'll take you to the final resting place for John F. Kennedy, Jackie Kennedy Onassis, and their two infant children. If you walk further, you'll see two wooden crosses. One cross for Brother Robert Kennedy, other cross for Brother Edward Kennedy. If you walk further, there's a final memorial stone for the eldest brother, Joseph Kennedy, who died in World War II and whose remains were never recovered.
The gravesite of President John F. Kennedy is also on view at Arlington National Cemetery. At his funeral on November 25, 1963, Jacqueline and Robert Kennedy lit an eternal flame that remains alight today. Two of Kennedy's children and Jacqueline Bouvier Kennedy Onassis are also buried alongside the president. In addition to the Kennedy family, President William Howard Taft, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall, world champion boxer Joe Louis, the 7 Space Shuttle Challenger astronauts and the Tuskegee Airmen are also buried at Arlington National Cemetery.
And on top of the hill, on the passenger side of the vehicle, will be 4 large markers with chaplains hill. There's a chaplain up there for World War I, chaplains of all faiths. The other 3 chaplains are specific for Protestant, Jewish, and Catholic faith chaplains during World War II, Korean War, and Vietnam War. In the distance here on the driver's side of the vehicle, there's a large gate. That is the McClellan Gate, named after General George B. McClellan, who has the distinction of being twice hired and twice fired by President Abraham Lincoln. The bricks that are being used by that McClellan Gate here on the driver's side of the vehicle, those are the same bricks being used by the Smithsonian Castle. Now on the passenger side of the vehicle here, Section 7. A notable buried here inside of Section 7 by the name of General George C. Marshall, Secretary of Defense, President of the Red Cross. On the driver's side of the vehicle now, this is Section 12. Many notables buried here inside of Section 12, such as Michael String, who is one of the 6 Marines to raise that American flag on top of Mount Suribachi on the island of Iwo Jima. Also buried here inside of Section 12 from the 442nd Regiment, which is the most decorated regiment in U.S. history from World War II. The Nakashima brothers are buried here inside of Section 12. And another notable buried here inside of Section 12 by the name of John Maslow, who was the first Medal of Honor recipient during World War II. On the passenger side of the vehicle now, Section 6. Many notables buried here inside of Section 6, such as Margaret Allen Rainey, who was the first female Navy air pilot, and another notable buried here inside of Section 6 by the name of Lieutenant General John Bajum, who is the Commandant at the Marine Corps, and also has a camp named after him in North Carolina, Camp Bajum. On the driver's side of the vehicle now, coming up will be Section 10. A notable buried here inside of Section 10 by the name of Holly Josephine Bennett. She's the first female Army doctor to survive during World War I. In the distance, on the passenger side of the vehicle will be a large group bear marker with 8 sides to it. That is the USS Serpent Monument. There are 250 remains underneath this large group bear marker coming up soon. There's an ammunition ship that exploded on the coast of the Guadalcanal and one of the largest losses in Coast Guard history, the USS Serpent. So starting on the passenger side of the vehicle, large group bear marker, 8 sides to it, USS Serpent's Monument. Section 34 falls on the passenger side of the vehicle here where you can find the Serpent's Monument. Looks like to notice these other large markers here inside of Section 34 on the passenger side with many names on them. These are also group burial markers. If the service members served together and died together, therefore they were buried together underneath these burial markers. As on section 34 here, on the pastor's side, you can find a notable by the name of Johnny Michael Span. He is the first American to perish in Afghanistan in 2001. On the driver's side of the vehicle in the distance, coming up will be a large building with many windows. That is the Pentagon. September 11th.
Arlington National Cemetery is the home of several well-known historic sites, including the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, which is a tribute to unidentified fallen soldiers who fought in World War I, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier is a large white sarcophagus that is guarded 24 hours a day, 365 days a year by Tomb Guard sentinels from the elite 3rd U.S. Infantry Regiment. The changing of the guard ritual, an elaborate, somber ceremony where a sentinel seamlessly takes over guard duty for the previous sentinel, happens every hour from October through March and every half hour from April through September.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? I am Staff Sergeant Vincent of the 3rd Infantry Regiment, United States Army, commander of the relief, Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. The ceremony that you are about to witness is the changing of the guard. In keeping with the dignity of this ceremony, it is requested that everyone remain silent and standing. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, from that touchdown, please step out of the stairwell, please.
However, up on the hilltop, Arlington's Veteran Initials USAT. That's those for United States Colored Troops. These are African American men. These men enlisted in the Union Army during the Civil War. This is just a small number of the nearly 180,000. Later out west, some of those units become known as the Buffalo Soldiers. So the Marine Corps War Memorial, it's out in the distance on the left. It's, like I said, it's over that close. And as we head down the hill, out here to the right, we're going to cross this little driveway. This little hillside here, folks, these are the first military burials on the ground. That began back in May of 1864. The men, the first ones they brought out, were supposed to be buried at the mansion. The officers living there, like, take it down the hill, way down the hill. So let's find that little baby tree. There's 5 stumps just uphill from it. This is the first 5 minutes of rot. That's where it all started.
On our immediate right is the memorial stones. Here to help us there.